Tell me when to go.
And Commissioner, it's all you.
Okay. Good evening. Welcome to our information meeting on water supply improvements. My name is Michael Kosinski, and I am the chairman of the Roslyn Water District Board of Commissioners. Today, I'm joined with my fellow commissioners, William Costigan and Dr. Sanford Klein. Also in attendance here today, our district superintendent, Richard Passeriello, lead engineer, Jeff Chaika from H2M Architects and Engineers, legal counsel, Peter Fishman, Bill Provencher from the Nassau County Health Department, and Greg Gordon, Director of Public Relations, Z&E Creative Communications, who will be coordinating this meeting. Thank you for taking the time to join us here today for this important update on these significant infrastructure upgrades. They are required due to the state health department's recently established regulations on emerging contaminants, 1,4-dioxane, PFOA, and PFOS. The responsibility of the Roslyn Water District is to provide an uninterrupted supply of high-quality potable water to the community. In order to address the community's supply demands, we are impacted by these contaminants. The Roslyn Water District must make capital improvements. During this presentation, we will explain a bit more about the emerging contaminants, the reasons for the significant improvements, how they work, the cost of these upgrades, and the overall financial impact to our district. After the presentation, we look forward to answering all of your questions. There are two ways that residents can ask questions. You can either submit them through the Q&A function, or you can use the raise hand button in the lower portion of your screen. Once the presentation is over, questions will be answered in the order they are received. Thank you once again for your time and interest in this ever important topic. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome our lead engineer, Jeff Chaika from H2M Architects and Engineers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, and good evening, everybody. Today's presentation will cover an overview of the Roslyn Water District, emerging contaminants and new state regulations, advanced oxidation process known as AOP, project breakdowns, cost breakdowns, and we'll close out the evening with any questions that you might have. The Roslyn Water District serves all the villages of Roslyn, Roslyn Estates, East Hills, and portions of Roslyn Heights, Roslyn Harbor, Flower Hill, North Hills, Greenvale, Appleton, Glenwood Landing, and Port Washington. We serve over 5,780 residential and commercial customers in our 5.1 square mile service territory. Each year, the district pumps and treats approximately 1.2 billion gallons of water, which is supplied to its customers through 8 water supply wells, 3 storage tanks, 3 booster pumping stations, and approximately 93 miles of water main. On August 26th of last year, the New York State Health Department finalized regulations establishing maximum contaminant levels, or MCLs, for the emerging compounds 1,4-dioxane, PFOA, and PFOS. The MCL established for 1,4-dioxane is 1 part per billion. To put that into perspective, that's the equivalent of 1 second in 32 years. The MCL for PFOA and PFOS is 10 parts per trillion. And that, to put into perspective, is 1 second in 32,000 years. To ensure our community's drinking water continues to meet or surpasses all established drinking water standards, millions of dollars of investment into new treatment facilities is required at some well sites. What is 1,4-dioxane? 1,4-dioxane is a synthetic industrial chemical that is miscible in water. It has been used as a stabilizer in chlorinated solvents. It is a byproduct present in dyes, greases, paint strippers, antifreeze, and in some consumer products such as deodorants, shampoos, and cosmetics. To date, no Roslyn Water District well has had a detection over the New York State Department of Health MCL limit of 1 part per billion, but we do have some that are approaching the limit. What are PFOA and PFOS? PFOA is perfluorooctanic acid, and PFOS is perfluorooctane sulfonic acid. These are man-made chemicals that have entered the water supply due to decades of use in industrial manufacturing and household goods. To date, no Roslyn Water District well has had detections above the EPA's lifetime health advisory level of 70 parts per trillion. However, we have seen low levels of detection in our wells throughout the district. H2M has been working with the district over the past 18 months, conducting engineering studies and pilot studies to remove 1,4-dioxane from the water. The process that we'll be using is advanced oxidation process. It is the only approved method by New York State Health Department to successfully remove 1,4-dioxane from drinking water. Before distribution to the residents, the treatment system mixes the raw groundwater with a low level of oxidant, most commonly hydrogen peroxide, which is then run through an ultraviolet light reactor to destroy the 1,4-dioxane molecules. AOP treatment also requires the installation of granular activated carbon, which ensures that there are no detections of remaining oxidant in the water, as well as many other volatile organic compounds. GAC treatment is also an effective treatment method used for the removal of PFOA and PFOS. Both treatment systems are needed to ensure our district is never out of compliance with these new regulations and continues to provide a reliable and adequate water supply for generations to come. The Roslyn Water District has identified 7 capital improvement projects. The projects are AOP treatment at well number 4 and 8, GAC treatment at plant number 5, a new generator at plant number 3, and replacement of fuel oil tanks at plants 1, 5, and 6. This is the proposed plant 4 site rendering. Currently, this location, there is 1 well house, a booster station, and a storage tank on the property. The proposed plan would partially remove the booster station and completely remove the well house. A new well house incorporating the new AOP treatment system will be built in the current location of the well house. A summary of the work at Plant 4 includes a new well and treatment building, significant site work including retaining walls, driveway, and landscaping, both AOP and GAC treatment, drainage work, new electrical and gas services, and a new backup generator. The total cost of the capital improvements are $8,148,480. A summary of the work at Plant 5 includes new GAC treatment, a new GAC treatment building with provisions for future AOP treatment, replacement of the existing buried caustic tank, installation of a new caustic tank inside the building, site work including driveway and drainage work, and new chemical feed systems and analyzers. The total cost of the capital improvements are $4,974,500. This is the elevation of the proposed treatment building at plant number 8. A summary of the work for plant number 8 includes new AOP treatment building, AOP treatment system. Plant number 8 currently has a GAC treatment system, which will be used for the new AOP system. Site work includes new retaining walls and a modified driveway. The cost of the capital improvements are $3,816,200. Plant number 1's existing fuel oil tank is beyond its useful life and requires replacement. A summary of the work includes removal of the buried 3,000-gallon fuel oil tank, installation of 5 smaller above-grade fuel oil tanks ranging in size from 275 gallons to 1,000 gallons. These tanks supply fuel to the admin building, 2 garages, and a pump station which has an engine and a generator. Site restoration includes repair of the parking lot. The total cost of all the capital improvements are $325,389. Plan number 5's existing fuel oil tank is also beyond its useful life and requires replacement. A summary of the work includes removal of the buried 1,000-gallon fuel oil tank, installation of a new 1,000-gallon above fuel oil tank, including site restoration. The total cost of the capital improvements are $198,708. The plan number 6, existing fuel oil tank, is also beyond its useful life and requires replacement. A summary of the work includes removal of the buried 1,000-gallon fuel oil tank and installation of a new above-ground 1,000-gallon fuel oil tank. Site work includes restoration of the parking lot. The total cost of all the capital improvements are $149,700. Plant 3 currently does not have any backup power. The summary of the work included for plant number 3 includes a new 300 kW backup natural gas generator, a new natural gas service, a concrete foundation for the generator, and electrical modifications, including an automatic transfer switch. The total cost of the capital improvements are $655,750. The district is constantly evaluating projects that may need to be undertaken. As water quality changes and as new contaminants are detected, the needs of the district may also change. As such, the district may need to reprioritize capital projects and allocate funding accordingly. The bond request addresses this potential need. There are potential additional improvements that may be required. They include AOP, GAC, VOC, and nitrate treatment at various plant sites. They also include the water main and distribution systems that water main and distribution system upgrades that may be required. The total cost of the capital improvements are $15 million. This table is a summary of all the proposed and potential projects we discussed as part of this presentation, with the total capital improvement cost of $33,268,727. Clearly, the district believes our residents should not have to bear the entire financial burden for this treatment, as they are not the ones responsible for the contamination. The district has filed lawsuits to hold those financially responsible for the presence of emerging contaminants in our water supply. The district is also the likely recipient of a nearly $4.5 million grant funding from the New York State to help pay for the treatment system at well number 4. Our situation is not unique. It's estimated $854 million investment is needed across Long Island to fund emerging contaminants. 27 water suppliers on Long Island are in active litigation against the polluters. Our last slide includes the cost impact to the residents. The column on the left-hand side is the value of the home, and the column on the right-hand side represents the maximum annual cost to the home, to the taxpayers. These cost estimates assume a worst-case scenario, meaning this is the most residents will pay should the district be unsuccessful in its litigation against the polluters and no grant funding is awarded. Any money awarded or awards from successful litigation will be used to reduce the amount of borrowing against the bond. That is our presentation. Thank you, and we're here to answer any questions that you may have.
Again, you could use the Q&A in the bottom, or if anybody wants to use the raise hand option, please feel free to do so now. Somebody's using a chat. In the chat, Karen says, thank you for your presentation. Can you provide a visual of pump station locales?
Jeff, do you want to review that?
Rich, the pump station location, are they talking about the locations of where the pump stations are within the district?
I believe so.
If I may interject, Rich, if that's the case, well, okay, thank you, Karen. Due to a directive from Homeland Security going back approximately 18 to 19 years, that is not information that is disseminated by the any water supplier. So unfortunately, we cannot provide that information. Rich, is that close to it? Anything you'd want to add?
No, that's correct. We cannot supply that information.
Thank you for your question, Karen. Anybody else? If anybody feels comfortable, they can use the chat option as well. Karen asked another question. Can you identify if PS4 is on Mineola Avenue?
No, it's not.
Once again, thank you, Karen, for your question. If you have any others, or if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to ask. And I think that's it then.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. I hope you've had some insight as to what we're about to do, and please be safe.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you,
Everyone
everybody.
stay safe.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great evening. Be
You
safe,
too.
everybody.
Thank you.
We finished recording.